This kid's doing his level best to get people to move over, and they just don't want to.
We're gonna have to get most of these people seated, or I don't know if they're blocking the exits. Just that would take us.
Yeah, that's fine. We're taking our lead from you at this point.
So we need to that exit can't be covered, and there's.
They're doing this, I'm going to start.
Folks, can I have everyone's attention for just a moment, please? I have your attention for just a moment, please? I know we're all jazzed. It's a great group of inductees tonight. We do have to be mindful of the safety, so if you are seated or standing in the back of the room, I'm going to ask you to keep that exit door clear, please. Just in the unlikely event of an emergency, we want to keep our exit doors clear, and if we do have to leave the building, please make your way to the nearest one safely and calmly. We do still have a few extra seats up here in the front of the room. If anyone's uncomfortable standing, it's also streaming on one of the televisions out in the lobby. We do anticipate the speaking program to take about an hour tonight, so if you don't think you have any legs to stay standing that long, you're welcome to join us back out front in a comfortable seat, and there are some light beverages out there as well. But we are going to get started in just a moment. See, I started calling you in here 6:45, and it's like 10 after 7. We're not here. This is crazy. People thought I was joking when I said we were sold out, so I want to give a big shout out to everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your patience and understanding. 190 people arriving us tonight. I don't know, athletic director can probably confirm this for me, but I think this is the largest Hall of Fame we've ever had before. And we have got some incredible contributors to the program and some remarkable former student athletes that we are so excited to celebrate tonight. So thank you for your patience. We're going to begin in just a moment, but we had to do a couple quick housekeeping announcements before we got started. We're going to take the lights down just a little bit so you can see a little bit what's happening on the stage better. And we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, so as much as we want to keep college, just make sure it's clean. This is a family show. All right? I know how you Hoopers can be unmarried. Yep. One more friendly reminder, just make sure we're clear that exit door. The blue high top in the back of the room is where we're streaming live, so if you see that tripod, please don't stand in front of it. Thank you so much. We got a few extra empty seats, so if your legs do start to give out on you, come on down to the front and make a new friend. Okay? All right, thank you so much.
Perfect. Is this video ready to play?
Oh, wow. Sorry, I left this with you.
It's all right.
All right, so that mic's going to be working.
Yep. The video is good. We're just waiting for the official thumbs up from the back of the room for us to get started. Making sure all of our T's are dotted, our I's are crossed, and all of those good things. Ah, we got a chuckle in the back of the room. Somebody got that. Excellent. All right, we are good to go. Good evening once more, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for our 27th Athletic Hall of Fame. Yeah, right. Make a little noise for our inductees this year. I love that energy. Keep it coming. My name is Mike Mitchell. I serve as Director of Engagement here at Salem State in our advancement office. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the Hall of Fame this evening. As a diehard fan of Salem State athletics and the proud husband of an Athletic Hall of Famer in 2 sports, I'm thrilled. Yeah, right. Woo. I am thrilled to welcome you to tonight and to have played a small role in bringing this evening's events together. I think I may have talked to almost all of you on email at one point throughout this process. Tonight presents an opportunity for us to recognize the invaluable contributions of our student athletes, both on and off the field. They've played such a pivotal role in enhancing the campus experience, the campus community, and the team spirit that unites us all as Vikings. I would be remiss, of course, if I didn't acknowledge a couple of things. One, you may be asking, what is Meet the Moment? And it's funny you should ask. We're going to show you a quick little video to tell you all about it.
This campaign is important at this time, in this moment, to help our students find their way both in terms of ability to pay for the college experience, as well as understand the pathway to a rewarding and successful professional career. As president in my senior leadership team, each and every time we have to make an important decision, I remind them to think about our students and what is most important for the success of them in their experience here at Salem State. The resources that we're going to get as a result of the Meet the Moment campaign will enable all of us on our campus, our faculty and our staff, to be able to deliver those services that they need to be successful. That's what our mission here is at Salem State. That's what this Meet the Moment campaign is all about.
And I'm very proud to report that our goal of $75 million that we began a month before the pandemic in 2020, we are well on our way to achieving at just over or just shy of $59 million to date. And a big piece of that support has come through support of our student athletes. So, again, that's me. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, whip out your cell phone, scan that QR code, and make a donation to support our student athletes today. You can also find it in the back of your program. And at this time, I have to put the fundraiser cap on for just a second as part of this, so thank you for indulging me. We would be honored if you made a donation of any size. Every bit helps our incredible student athletes. You may have got to see a few of them out in the lobby before tonight's presentation. And it is now my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for the evening, a graduate of the class of 1995, Director of Athletics and Head Women's Soccer Coach, Nicole Wood.
Good evening, everyone. As Mike shared, my name is Nicole Wood. I am a proud SSU women's soccer alumni, class of 95, and currently the Director of Athletics. Given my history as an alumni and the profound impact that my experience as a Viking had on my life, I'm beyond proud to have the opportunity to lead tonight's ceremonies as we honor some of the greatest student athletes in Salem State history. Yesterday, I spent most of my day at a memorial service for a recent inductee, Marcy Maglio's mother, who passed away. And one of the remarkable things is, I know you'll find this shocking, but I graduated 30 years ago. And to see the amount of our teammates that showed up at the services and that just really helped someone who had gone through a loss that many of us have gone through, get through it in a way to be reminded that the most important thing that we do is we learn how to show up for each other as Vikings. And to have it on a sad day yesterday, but then also to see today with the biggest crowd we've ever had for a Hall of Fame event reminds me that Vikings sure do know how to show up for each other. So for all of you here, thank you. As we take time tonight to recognize the men and women who established the tradition of excellence that defines Viking athletics, I also just wanted to give a brief update on the student athletes who are now chasing excellence in their playing arenas, in the classroom, and in the community. If we go back just to this time last year, the success of our current Vikings has really been a source of pride for our department and the university. Last spring, our baseball team was the top seed and hosted the MASCAC Championships. For this year so far, we've had 20 fall and winter student athletes honored as all-conference selections, including 6 major award winners and 2 coaches of the year. For the third time in head golf coach and SSU alumni Jimmy O'Reilly's tenure, the program has won the MASCAC Championship and will compete at the NCAA Championship next month. Men's ice hockey, back to a level of greatness led by SSU alum Chris McGinnis, who was one of our coaches of the year, ended their season ranked number 20 in the nation. 8 of 10 teams so far have advanced to the postseason, with men's soccer advancing to the championship game after upsetting the top seeds throughout the tournament. Currently, our spring teams are collectively off to winning starts and are positioned to again return to the postseason and host some tournaments. Our student athletes continue to excel in the classroom, with 140 Salem State student athletes named to the fall or winter all academic teams. The average team GPA among all 15 teams and 292 student athletes is a 3.23, well above the student average. And this month, we will induct over 25 student athletes into the Chi Alpha Sigma National Collegiate Athletic Honor Society. We're getting wins on the field and in the classroom, and over the past year, we have added a fully turfed softball facility and press box, updated 2 varsity locker rooms, and this summer will become one of the only Division III schools in New England to have an indoor turf field space. Most importantly, due to the extreme generosity of the family and friends of the late Sam Chofie, I am proud to say that we offer the most extensive student-athlete support programming in the conference in most of New England. Sam passed away the day after setting SSU men's lacrosse records, and his family has since set up the Sam Chofie Student-Athlete Wellness Fund, which supports the development and success of our Viking student-athletes. In the coming months, the Sam Chofie Memorial Student-Athlete Wellness Lounge will be completed, serving as a hub of resources and support programming in the area of mental wellness and holistic well-being. We still have so much work to do, but as an alumni who's been a Viking for 30 years, I can say with gratitude that this recent success was built on the foundation of excellence and pride that the people in this room helped to establish. The future is bright, but it's because of the road paved by our past, and I am so honored to be here to thank you all this evening. Tonight's event is the culmination of months of work by a dedicated group of Vikings who volunteered their time, efforts, and passion for this event by serving on the Hall of Fame Selection Committee. They represent a wide range of sports, experiences, and perspectives that help us ensure the best of the best are identified and considered each year. Many are current or future Hall of Famers themselves. At this time, I ask the members of the Hall of Fame Selection Committee to please stand so that we can thank you for your service and contribution. On behalf of all in attendance and our inductees and selection committee members, I also want to thank the Alumni Association for hosting this event. I want to give Mike Mitchell a huge thank you. Mike has always been a tireless advocate for student athletes, well before he married one, as an undergrad SGA president and now in his role in alumni relations. Thank you to Mike and the team for supporting our Viking student athletes. I also want to give a sincere thank you to Sodexo for the amazing food and drink. At this time, I am pleased to introduce the 14th president of Salem State University, John Keenan.
Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here with all of you. There's so much orange and blue out in that audience. It's awesome. I don't know if you guys saw my socks in that picture. It is awesome to be here with you. I've been in this hall for a lot of events, and I've never seen this many people. So thank you for joining us. It's truly a privilege and an honor to stand here with you tonight as we gather to celebrate exceptional athletic achievement. We welcome to the 27th Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony, a night dedicated to honoring athletic greatness, integrity, and unwavering commitment to excellence. I'd like to introduce a couple of folks. I think one of my trustees, Tom Billings, an alumni, is here with us tonight. Thank you, Tom. Love the tie. And our Vice President for Student Success, Bonnie Galinsky, is also with us tonight. Thank you, Bonnie. I would also like to thank the selection committee. I know a lot of work goes into that, and I think you had to put up with Nate Bryant, so I appreciate you doing that in the hard work. Now, this is a tradition that began during homecoming and the weekend of 1986. The SSU Athletic Hall of Fame now proudly has over 140 members or teams. Each of these remarkable members embody the core attributes that define true success: integrity, sportsmanship, exemplary character, commitment to service, and unparalleled teamwork. Whether dominating the field, the court, the green, the ice, or championing the cause of university athletics, your contributions have set the gold standard for intercollegiate competition and have helped shape the trajectory and future of athletic programs here at Salem State. Tonight, we celebrate the legacy of our inductees who have inspired greatness, strengthened our Viking spirit, and elevated Salem State athletics to new heights. Each of you deserves to feel immense pride for the role that you have played in this extraordinary journey. I also want to recognize our outstanding Director of Athletics, Nicole Wood. She mentioned all the facilities things that are going on campus. We have the best soccer field. I think we now have the best softball field. We'll now have the only turf inside. She knows I'm a former student athlete, and I very rarely say no to our student athletes. So unfortunately, don't share that with anybody, right? That's a secret. I would also like to express my gratitude to our entire outstanding athletics department, and thank you for helping pull this event together tonight. Your unwavering support ensures that the achievements of these remarkable athletes and contributors continues to shine brightly. And so, with great admiration, I extend my warmest congratulations to this year's Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. You have earned your rightful place among other Hall of Fame members. I will tell you, I was extremely proud in 1993, to get inducted into the Salem High Hall of Fame. Everybody thinks I was a hockey player. I actually played football and wrestled. But it was a night that I remembered, and I think that you too will remember this shining moment. So again, thank you all for joining us tonight to celebrate this occasion and celebrate these outstanding Vikings. I would like to hand the mic back to our Director of Athletics, Nicole Wood. And thank you.
Thanks, President Keenan. He really doesn't say no very often. I will say that. And all of the success that we've had and the growth we've had is definitely due to the investment that our leadership, including President Keenan and Bonnie and our Dean of Students, Sean Newton, have made to the university. So unique to this year's Athletic Hall of Fame, we are excited to present some former Salem State student athletes and coaches who have made such significant contributions that they were chosen for induction into the Massachusetts State College Athletic Conference Hall of Fame. We've had more inductees than any other MASCAC institution since the MASCAC Hall of Fame started. We would like to recognize some of the past inductees. They're all featured in the program. Some were not able to be with us tonight, and we also want to make sure that we can highlight a few that were inducted for the first time. You can read about our inductees in the program, but I'm just going to list them. If any of them are in the room, we would love you to stand. Alvaro Ibanez, Grant Longley, Teresa Reagan Patron, George Jacobson. You can wave, Jake, you don't have to stand up. Michael Gilligan, Patricia Camo Berndanta, the 1972 men's golf team. I do think we have a few of them in the audience tonight. Our former athletic director, Timothy Shea, and tonight with us for the first time, we are also able to formally introduce one of our 2025 inductees, Mary Dolores Brown Sokol, or as we all call her lovingly, Mary D. With a performance career totaling 1,058 points and 598 rebounds, Mary D was an integral part of the Lady Vikings basketball program. She is the first female student athlete at Salem State to win the Howard C. Smith Award and is a very impressive MASCAC inductee. During her 4 years as a Viking, she spent 2 of them as captain while also earning 3-time All-New England and All-MASCAC choices. Since she left Salem State, she went on to be committed to athletics. She got her master's degree at Springfield College, and for the past 31 years has been a teacher, a coach, and athletic director. And this June, Mary D finally gets to retire as a MASCAC Hall of Famer. Please help me welcome Mary D. Sokol. Your official mascot. Okay, thank you. Congratulations. Before we get to this year's class, I would like to just ask our Hall of Famers to stay seated until you are welcomed to the stage by your presenter. When coming on stage, please accept your award and then take a photo in front of the banner with your presenter. Presenters, once you introduce them, you can return to your seat. As we begin the official portion that celebrates the Salem State University Athletic Hall of Fame, I would like to present our first presenter, Coach Trevor Eaton.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, faculty, staff, athletes, and of course, our inductees. My name is Trevor Eaton. I was a lacrosse player at Salem State for about 5 years back in the 90s, and I was a head coach from 2005 to 2017. As part of the program's first 20 years, I have either played with or coached almost all of their record holders. Today, it's my absolute pleasure to help introduce Ian Abrahamson into the Salem State Athletic Hall of Fame. Ian's lacrosse career is one of consistency, excellence, and selflessness, qualities that truly define what it means to be a Hall of Famer. In his first season, he was voted Rookie of the Year and MVP by his teammates. But that wasn't even the most remarkable part of his career. During his 4-year career, he started every single game, which is still a record today. While doing so, he also won MVP 4 times, Little East First Team Honors 3 times, and was the Little East Defensive Player of the Year in 2015. Ian led in a stat that most people outside of lacrosse don't understand, and that's the ground ball. The ground ball is an opportunity. It's a moment in the game when the ball is loose, and every player does everything possible to gain that ball. That ball is the momentum changing of the game. Sometimes it leads to goals. Sometimes it leads to being defeated and having goals scored on you. During the course of his career, Ian amassed over 350 ground balls, which is far more than anyone has done even now. He led the Little East for all 4 years that he played, and he was in the top 10 of all NCAAs junior and senior year. While also leading in ground balls, he also led the league in caused turnovers, almost 3 per game. That means he either took the ball away or picked up the ball, causing more and more opportunities for us to score. And when speaking of scoring, he did that as well. He averaged a dozen plus goals and assists every season. You couldn't ask for a better player. Ian was a game changer. His relentless drive and competitiveness made him one of the most feared defenders in the league. But even more than that, he was a leader both on and off the field. Ian won the Salem State President's Cup his senior year and was part of the academic All-New England team. As a student athlete, he excelled at everything he did. For me, the best way to explain or show Ian's impact is a story that I tell people all the time. I was on a recruiting trip or at a recruiting game, and I was sitting with a bunch of coaches. And I was sitting next to a coach, and I said, if I could get 2 or 3 more Ians, we could really turn the program around. We could really make headway. And a coach who was sitting about 4 seats down leaned forward and he said, if you get 3 more Ians, you guys are going to not just win the league, but you'll be off to a national championship. Ian, you set the standard. You set the standard for what it means to be a Salem State athlete. Your contributions, both on and off the field, will never be forgotten. Your accomplishments allowed our program to move forward, and for that, I thank you. Please help me introduce or help me bring up here Ian Abrahamson.
How's everyone doing? Now that we squared out where you're supposed to stand for the pictures, it's right there marked with the nice X. Just didn't see it right away. It's really an honor to be up here among some of Salem State's most distinguished athletes. It's a very humbling experience, but for me, it started at a young age. Shout out to my family, my brothers, for stinking or sucking at baseball. No offense to anyone who plays baseball. I think it's a great sport. But that drove me into the field of lacrosse. I started playing probably when I was 10 or 11 years old, and I haven't really looked back since. And my love for the game starts once again at the youth level. I'd like to thank my youth coaches, Steve Murphy, Stu Kelly. As I progressed, as I got older, when I went to high school, I got changed from an offensive guy to a defensive guy. So I'd like to thank Gino Buzza and Grant Whiteway for that, and as well as my head coaches, Chris Burns and Craig Flynn. When I got to college, Trevor, that was probably the nicest speech I've ever heard. So I appreciate your kind words. You were a great mentor. You let me just kind of go out on the field and cause chaos. That's what I do best. So appreciate you giving me the reins to do that. Outside of that, I'd like to thank my mom and dad. I don't know. Obviously, a lot of athletes in here. I was very privileged. I don't know if I've ever played in a game where I didn't have a familiar face in the crowd. My dad always came. My mom always came to every single game. And, it doesn't mean much when you're a child. But when you look back on those years, it does mean a lot. So appreciate you guys for always being there. I appreciate, all my brothers and sisters, Haley, Leaf, Pat, Eric. Thank you guys for supporting me all through the years. Once again, Leaf, especially for striking out in baseball so many times. The other thing, my teammates, all those stats that Coach Eaton just mentioned, they don't happen on their own. I had a great supporting cast. It's not an individual sport, especially some of the faceoffs guy. He mentioned ground balls. That doesn't happen without a great faceoff guy. So, Admiral Patno, Kyle Dolan, Nate Staples, they can't be with us here tonight, but, they help, send my career on this kind of trajectory. That's the picture we got, huh? The nice cornrows. I did not see that one coming. There are a couple other photos that are out there. I'd also like to thank the trainers who supported me through the years. Scott, Carrie, thank you guys so much. Try not to be in the office too much, but you guys were fantastic when I was there. And then I'd like to thank my beautiful wife, Alanis Terabasi. I'd like to thank her for the nomination. Without her, I don't know if all this would have been possible. And I'd also like to thank my teammate, Kevin Verity, who's here tonight as well, who was an absolute lethal weapon in practice. Coach can attest to that. All his great offensive corral helped me be a better defenseman. He was a true hero. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one. And thanks to Coach Wood for putting up my nonsense during my athletic careers.
He jokes about that. I don't have a lot of gray hair yet, but I have one named Ian. I have one named Kevin Verity. I have many more that are attributed to lacrosse players. Also, did I miss a wedding invite? All right, it makes me feel better. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce our next presenter, who will be inducting Steve Campbell. Please welcome two-time Athletic Hall of Famer, MassCAC Hall of Famer, Salem State legend, mentor, and someone I am very lucky to always be able to go to for advice, Coach George Jacobson.
Thank you, guys.
There was a time I used to be able to get up a little quicker than this, but it goes with the age. I am extremely honored and pleased to be here this evening to recognize one of my former players, Steve Campbell. Steve, we go back in 1966, 67. Some of you probably remember those years, but it's been almost 60 years since we met. And the first year Steve was with me, we happened to be fortunate enough to win the NAIA tournament. And unfortunately for Steve and for me, he was recalled to the Navy duty. And the best part about this recall is that he was scheduled to go to Hawaii, of all places. There are a few golf courses there, and he not only did extremely well playing golf in Hawaii, but I think he also gained so much leadership skills and technique that I think he brought back with him when we came back in 1971. And in 1971, Steve was our captain, and we were at that time doing fairly well because of his leadership skills, that we were invited to play in a tournament in St. Andrews, Scotland. And the second day we played in Carnoustie, Scotland, which was a time of a lifetime experience that we enjoy. And I feel that experience helped our team become recognized, because at the end of that year, we not only won the NAIA tournament and headed out to Rockford, Illinois, and a week later, we were headed out to Chico State in playing the NCAAs. All of this was because of his leadership skills as the captain and some of his teammates who are here today to support him. And it is a wonderful experience. We call this our Salem State Golf family, and it is a family affair as you begin to realize how important athletics is and leadership skills are. I want to mention the word coach means something that I think some of you, all of you, now know what it means to you, but this is what it means to me, a definition of a coach. A passionate, dedicated individual who unlocks hidden potential and maximizes a team's performance by believing, encouraging, and developing. Steve Campbell, you have all those qualities. And it's obvious by your skills that both the NEIGA, which we were involved with introducted you as a Hall of Famer, as well as the MASCAC and individual Hall of Famer as well. Steve, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce you this evening, but I want to mention one more thing. One of his former teammates is sitting in the front row with him. I got a call from him just a little while ago, and Kim O'Neill said to me, Coach, what time is the performance? I said, it's 6 o'clock. Where are you? He said, I just got off the plane. Well, where are you coming from? He said, I'm at the Masters. And he gave up the Masters to come to be with his teammate. And it just gives you an idea how much this team meant to him and to the rest of them. Steve, it is my pleasure to introduce you to the Coaches Hall of Fame at Salem State College. He's got me.
3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Speeches. Yeah, I didn't even read it. I want to thank President Keenan and Mike Mitchell and Nicole Wood for putting time and effort into this get-together. I'm honored to be a member of the Hall of Fame, first as a player and now as the coach. I want to thank George Jacobson for recommending me to, at the time, there was a transition from John Galaris to Tim Shea as the athletic director. So they were both sitting in and wanted to know what I was going to do to get the team back to where Jake had it, which that's pretty hard. But I want to thank Jake, and I'm honored that he was my coach, is my mentor, and is my friend. I love you. I couldn't have done 15 years without the support of my beautiful and loving best friend and my wife, Nancy. And the team appreciated her, not as much as me, but they appreciated her for the thousands of chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin, and peanut butter cookies she baked for every tournament, 9 tournaments a year for 15 years. Thousands of cookies. That was greatly appreciated because back then, and I didn't even ask anybody right now, athletes received $15 a day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We went away on Friday. We were gone Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it just wasn't healthy to live on fast foods. So they got their $15 for breakfast and lunch, and then dinner was on fundraising. Talk about that in a second. But I didn't make them give me back $1 at every dinner, contributing to the tip for the wait staff, which it's, I think, part of the lessons that I taught as a coach. You know, everybody deserves respect. I've got to really thank Tim Shea, because not once in the 11 years that he was the athletic director did he say no. Incredible. And he always asked why I wanted something, and it was always for the team, and it was going to make the team better. And it was just incredible not ever saying no. And after that, I have to thank the staff in the office making the job easier. And Bill O'Neill with travel and making sure the check was always there. Chris Harvey
doing the tedious NCAA paperwork that, as a non-administrative type, I know it needs to be done, but I'm glad Chris Harvey had to do it and not me. Carrie McDonald in the trainer's office always prepared what we needed for travel with regards to tape or anything for injuries. It just took all of the worry off. I could concentrate on the team. It was, and by building the team, the first thing that I did was ask Dr. Tom Billings to be my assistant coach. And it couldn't have been better. He taught the team self-advocacy, go to every professor, introduce yourself, so that he could put a name to the face. That was just an incredible thing for a young 18, 19-year-old young man to get over that deer in the headlight and help to grow up and kind of take care of yourself. He always took care of the academic side and helping with scheduling. It alleviated, again, something that I needed help with, because we're a team. I volunteered. I became a member of the National NCAA Division III Golf Regional District 1, and got to help in the selection of the teams that would be going to the Nationals. And at that period of time, it was a transition. The NCAA wanted everybody in a conference so that they had an automatic qualifier for the winner of each of the conferences, and that would have made it easy for the NCAA. Unfortunately, there were 69 teams that were not in conferences, and a lot of it was because other conferences wouldn't let them in because they were too good, and they were afraid they were just going to give up their automatic qualifier to, and Tim Shea worked diligently every single season trying to get one additional state college or university at the time to re-implement their golf program, which everyone had back when I played, but Mass Maritime, Bridgewater, Fitchburg, Framingham, which fund football programs, couldn't see anyway, we couldn't get them to start up their golf program again because we just needed one team, and we could have had the MASCAC 20 years ago. It was my pleasure to coach some of the finest young men. I always told them on the very first meeting that you're a student athlete. It's your diploma that's going to open the doors for you, and golf and your success in golf will be wonderful, but the education comes first. And I believe that we were either first or we were consistently in the top 3 of GPA over the other sports teams. So I believe they bought into the program, most. I could have had a couple of tough battles, and one of them might be here right now, but finally did see the light. And everybody, when they first come to Salem State, the vast majority want to go into the business. They go into the business and they find out, wow, boy, if you want to be an assistant pro, you have to give up golf because you're working 60 hours a week in the pro shop and not enough time to maintain your game and whatever. I allowed anyone who came out for the team, and it started 15 to 20 to come out. And I can't tell you how many young men came up to me saying that they've got a one handicap. But I never believed anybody's handicap. Everybody got to play a 9-hole round over at Salem Greens. And I think I had to cut one player in 15 years, because Tim needed to cut back the number of golfers to balance the Title IX men and women. And outside of that, the other players just self-cut themselves because their one handicap couldn't break 50. And they were embarrassed. And I told everybody, don't quit. Come back again next year. Let's see, on some memorable tournaments that we played in, the ECAC Championship out in New York. Matt Barron won in extra holes to Stephen Goodrich, who became the NCAA individual champion, I think that year or the next year. And Matt put him away, and Matt's now the head pro at the Ridge Club down the Cape. And let's see, Nick Antonelli winning, I think it's the 2010 New England Championship at Division III. And Jeff Santora winning the Sterling Open out in Worcester, never taking the driver out of his bag and shooting under par, because he's one of the smartest players that ever walked onto a golf course. It was a pleasure to have all of these guys, and they chased their dream. One young man didn't do so well at Fairfield. Salem was a second chance opportunity for a great number of people. Not going to do names now, but he was on the golf team, contributor, great young man, came to Salem after flunking out of Fairfield, which he went on a full scholarship out of St. John's Prep. Graduated from Salem State with a 4.0, got a scholarship to Tufts Dental, and now he's in practice in Swampscott. Just a great story. Another great story, young man who had a real hard time shooting less than 85. But he wanted a golf. He practiced. He did everything that I asked him, and he worked really hard. And I even caddied for him when he was taking the playing the. You have to score like a couple of 76s for the performance portion of earning your PGA. And I caddied for him, didn't make it that time, made it the next time, and now he's a head pro because of his dedication and hard work. Golf. I'm going to finish up in just a couple more. Some of my players or my teammates are here. Kim O'Neill, Scott Pryor. We had a wonderful time in Scotland. And I think around 8 or 10 of my players are here. Great captains. The captains made my job easier because they took care of practice, making sure everybody plays with everybody. Everybody is equal. The kids had to be on time, and They had to respect one another. They had to respect the golf course. From the nationals, I went from the regional to the NCAA National Committee for 5 years, and I saw how the other teams operated. And that's when I got everybody blazers. I had the insignias made. We looked great. When we went to Pinehurst for spring break, you wouldn't believe the number of people that complimented them, how great they looked, how respectful, and it was eye-opening. And we were the only team in New England when we went to the NEIGA banquet that truly looked like a team, because they were a team. They supported one another all the way through. And in tournaments, I was always out on the golf course with them. The only thing they wanted to know is what their playing partners hit for clubs on the par threes. I think I might have been instrumental in some wins because I found a lot of errant tee balls in the woods for them. Instead of a two-stroke penalty, they got to get it back into play. It was a wonderful experience. And again, I'm honored to be in the Hall of Fame. And I think I've got about, I don't know, I can't be prouder. Just one last thing. I'm sorry, I meant to do this earlier. Whenever we went out on a tournament, the high man at the tournament had to wear the horns in the restaurant for dinner. And anyone who wants to try it on, it weighs about 5 or 6 pounds.
If you make someone wait that long to get into the Hall of Fame, they get to speak that long. There is, as Coach was talking about the different people in the athletic department, I think there's only one person who's been at Salem State as long as Jake, and she's here tonight, and I know she had a very big part in a lot of people's careers, especially the basketball team. Cheryl, the only way I'll see you is if you stand up, and she's standing right there. So Cheryl Merritt. At this time, please help me welcome to the stage Salem State Athletic Hall of Famer and Selection Committee member Dr. Carla Scazzarella for induction of Kelly Knight.
We're the height challenged group, the gymnasts. It's my privilege to speak for Kelly Dixon Knight, an exceptional gymnast, teammate, and close friend. She is a deserving candidate for this prestigious honor. Some of you may be thinking, didn't know Salem State had a gymnastics team. We did, an extremely successful team for more than 30 years. In the storied history of the Salem State women's gymnastics team, there are 3 gymnasts who made long-lasting impacts on that program. Betty Procopio-Sawchuk, Jill Russell-Lucy, both already in the Hall of Fame, and Kelly. Kelly's accomplishments and records stood from 1981 until Jill's arrival at Salem State. It is fitting that Kelly takes her place tonight in the Hall of Fame and completes the trio. Throughout her 3-year career at Salem State, Kelly consistently finished in the top 3 on all 4 events, as well as the all-around. As a freshman on the 78-79 team, Kelly led our team to a 15-0 record. This team set a new team scoring record on its way to a 3rd-place finish at the Massachusetts State Collegiate Gymnastics Championship. Kelly was the state vaulting champion, and she also placed 3rd on both balance beam and floor exercise. She was named the MVP for the women's gymnastics team at the 1979 Salem State Women's Athletic Awards reception. The 79-80 team lost only 2 regular season meets. Kelly finished 1st on vaulting in nearly every meet, placing in the top 3 on the other events and in the all-around regularly. Salem hosted the Massachusetts State Collegiate Gymnastics Championship that season, and Kelly's performances helped us finish 4th, behind 2 Division I teams not sure why they felt the need to show up, UMass Amherst and Northeastern, and D3 rival Boston State, much more our competition. Kelly qualified for the Eastern Division III Collegiate Gymnastics Championship meet in Maryland, where she finished in the top 10 on vaulting, balance beam, and floor exercise. She also qualified for the NCAA Northeast Regional Division III Collegiate Gymnastics Championship on vaulting. For the 2nd year in a row, she was named the MVP for the women's gymnastics team at the 1980 Salem State Women's Athletic Awards reception. As a junior, Kelly captained the 1980-81 team. The team's dominance against other D3 schools continued, with Salem going 10-0 against the competition. Kelly led the way throughout the season, consistently scoring in the 8+ range on vaulting and floor exercise, high scores for that time period. MIT hosted the Massachusetts State College Gymnastics Championship, and Salem finished 3rd for the 2nd time in 3 years, behind very strong routines from Kelly. As a result of her excellent performances throughout that season, Kelly was the top-seeded all-around at the NCAA Northeast Regional Division III Collegiate Gymnastics Championship in Connecticut. She was named to the Eastern Intercollegiate Gymnastics All-Region team for floor exercise, and she was chosen as the most outstanding gymnast at the 1981 Salem State Women's Athletic Awards reception. Kelly Dixon Knight contributed significantly to the success of the Salem State Women's Gymnastics program for 3 years. Her individual accomplishments as a collegiate gymnast speak for themselves, and she remains one of the 3 most talented gymnasts to ever compete for Salem State. Kelly's drive and leadership earned her the respect of her teammates, coaches, and competitors alike. She graduated in 1982 and is currently a longtime elementary teacher in the Woburn Public Schools. She continued to be involved with the sport she loved as the very successful varsity gymnastics coach at Woburn High School for 8 years. Kelly's induction tonight celebrates not only her exceptional collegiate gymnastics career, but recognizes her contributions to a former program's great athletic success at Salem State. Please welcome Kelly Dixon Knight. Take this. Oh, that's not mine. No.
Thank you and good evening. First, I'd like to sincerely thank the Hall of Fame Committee for considering me for this incredible honor. I would also like to say congratulations to the other inductees in the class of 2025. I am truly humbled and honored to be a member of this class and the Salem State's Hall of Fame team. When I think back to my beginnings in the sport of gymnastics, I was a late bloomer. I did not start at the age of 4 like many do today. I began learning and competing as a junior in high school. Saying I was a quick learner was an understatement. My high school coach recognized that and threw me into ballet to gain a little poise and to teach me how to point my toes. My mother and father were my biggest supporters, with my father dropping me off at my high school practices at 6 o'clock every morning, and they attended all of my gymnastics meets. As my love for gymnastics evolved, so did my skill level. I just couldn't get enough. I would do flips in the yard, cartwheels while going for walks, and aerials on the beach. When I was accepted to Salem State University, I was thrilled. Not only was I hoping to further my love for gymnastics, but my love for children and teaching as well. My professors at Salem State provided me with exceptional educational opportunities and developed my true love, which was teaching. Salem was one of the most reputable teacher colleges, and it was a privilege to be accepted here. When I made the gymnastic team, I felt like I hit the number. Throughout my journey at Salem State, I met the best of the best people. I had knowledgeable, helpful teachers, wonderful, caring coaches, and supportive, amazing teammates. I remember that we had practice every day from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. There was only one problem. At the time, the soap opera General Hospital was all the rage. Everyone was watching it, but it was on from 3 to 4, so we only had a 3-minute window. My teammates and I would gather around the TV in my dorm room at Peabody Hall, coats on, sneakers on, bags packed, and standing ready to bolt when it finished at 3:55. We would then sprint all the way from Peabody Hall to the sports complex so we wouldn't be late for practice. The upside, I guess, is that it helped us get in great shape. Too bad there wasn't a track team here, though. I learned many life lessons through participating in gymnastics that I am truly grateful for. It taught me to be the best person I could be as I built formidable and lifelong relationships with my teammates. Carla Scazzarella and I competed together, and we remain friends to this day. Carla, remember our floor routines on the rock-hard wrestling mat? We didn't have the spring floors that they have today. If we did, we would probably be Olympians. Well, maybe not. We thought the tricks we did were like high quality, sophisticated, and superior. Today, those tricks are far below the routine gymnasts do now. I don't even think our great moves qualify to be their part of their warm-ups. But I'd like to think of us as trailblazers. Oh, and a side note, thank you for changing the school's colors. Unfortunately, the change came too late for the gymnastics team. The Vikings' brown and orange leotards never made the cut. Depending on our school choice or our color choice, we either look like brown tree trunks or orange pumpkins. I became an elementary teacher and went on to coach Woburn High School gymnastics team for many years. I loved being a coach, a mentor, and a teacher for all of the young ladies who were on my team. It was a great, great time in my life. They all had different reasons for being there, and again, I formed many lifelong relationships with my gymnasts and their parents. I actually loved the people from Woburn so much that my husband and I decided to buy a house and start our family there. We became a very active part of the community. Gymnastics is a wonderful sport. It is an individual sport and yet a team sport as well. It taught me the value of perseverance and hard work, two amazing qualities that have assisted me in becoming who I am today. I learned how to be a good and fair leader. This is a skill I have valued as an elementary teacher for the last 28 years, and my years as a gymnastic coach at Woburn High School. I have tried to instill the many qualities I have learned along the way with my own students in my class. I am forever grateful for the many years and life lessons acquired at Salem State. I am thankful to this university for developing my love for not only teaching, but for gymnastics as well. As I come to a close, my speech wouldn't be complete if I didn't mention the most important relationship acquired during my years at Salem State University. It's where I met the love of my life, my husband, David Knight. We actually met in the whirlpool. Yes, in the whirlpool, in the training room here on campus. Dave was a member of the basketball team here at Salem State University. He was a big shot, or at least that's what he told me. I had shin splints, and Dave had a sore knee. Bill Bullock, who was the trainer at the time, put us together in the whirlpool, and the rest is history. We have been happily married for 42 years and have 3 wonderful children and a beautiful granddaughter. My life has been an incredible, happy journey. All the honors, awards, and milestones I have been part of in my life have been possible because of this university, my teammates, my coaches, my family, administrators, and friends. I can't thank them enough. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for judging me as being worthy of this honor. I am deeply honored to receive this award tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla, and congratulations, Kelly. Our next inductee bears the unique credit of having 2 presenters for induction, including one who couldn't be with us tonight, but we'll get to that later. First, to present Kara Smolinski for induction, please welcome from the Athletic Hall of Fame Selection Committee and a Hall of Famer himself, John Levine.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to introduce to you someone whose dedication and talent has left an indelible mark on Salem State basketball history. Kara Smolinski, a 4-year starter for the Vikings, helped lead the team to a remarkable success, securing 4 consecutive MASCAC championships and earning 4 NCAA tournament appearances. Throughout her illustrious career, she helped guide Salem State to an impressive 47-1 record in conference play, with the team winning at least 20 games every season. Kara's individual accolades speak for themselves. As one of the top guards in program history, she was named MASCAC Rookie of the Year in her freshman season and earned all-conference first-team honors 3 times. She was also honored with 4 ECAC All-New England selections and was named MASCAC Player of the Year in 2003. To this day, Kara ranks 7th all-time in career points at Salem State with 1,465 points. She is also 7th in field goals made, 3rd in three-point percentage, and 5th in three-point field goals with 116. Her remarkable achievements on the court have solidified her legacy as one of the greats in Salem State basketball history. For some additional insight into her playing prowess, please enjoy this brief video from Kara's former coach, Tim Shea, who was unable to be here with us tonight.
when I think about Carol's play, first of all, super strong left hand and explosive speed. She could jump both high and long. Crazy. Memories that the crazy thing that pretty well people like games, very excitable. I remember we were thinking home, Carol was slowing down court in the street, I'm sorry, because it seemed like a stop sign. Stop yelling, slow down, Carol, slow down. I'm on the opposite side of the court. I would make a whole little bit. The game has so much about that. Anyways, Carol also, she scored a lot of points, but she could play defense. We have to play very good. I'm not going to complain about the pitching. I'm not playing against Eastern today, but only a 3 years ago. And she was talking to the All-American. They were either up one or tied. And the All-American couldn't get by her, so she pulled out for like a 19-foot camera. Carol went straight out with her, no whistle, the ball was lined on, and it hung down, and the ref calls the foul because that was the ref explains to me that they love shoes on the way down. Big deal. Basketball team has seen play numerous times, and he's going to have a lot to say about Carol's accomplishments. A great player in his own right, John Spartaro played the majority probably. Carol, so pleased about the reduction into the Hall of Fame. It's such a well-deserved honor. Take care. Enjoy the night. Stay over. All that many thanks.
Please join me in celebrating her exceptional contributions to the game and welcoming her for induction into the Salem State University Athletic Hall of Fame.
Don't take mine.
I'll take yours.
All right, everyone did a great job speaking off the cuff tonight, but this is terrifying. So I'm going to read. Good evening. I would like to thank everyone on the committee for the wonderful recognition, as well as congratulate my fellow inductees. It is an honor to be here tonight. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to my family. To my parents, thank you for seeing the love I had for the game of basketball and doing everything you could to help me succeed. I wouldn't be standing here tonight without the countless hours you spent driving me to practices, traveling to AAU tournaments, cheering me on from the stands, and always being my biggest fans. I don't think you missed very many of my games, and I always felt at ease when I looked up and saw you in the stands. Mom, Dad, I love you more than words can say. Thank you so much. To my sisters, from being inspired by my sister Lauren's dedication to softball and having my sister Jody as a high school teammate, I thank you both for being incredible role models. I've always looked up to you and truly admire you. You've been my biggest cheerleaders and my best friends, and I appreciate all the support you have given me. To my wife and children, you have not seen me play here at Salem, but your support tonight and always means the world to me. I hope someday my children fall in love with the sport the way I did with basketball, as it has truly been one of the best parts of my life. To my coaches, thank you. To my coaches, thank you for believing in me and for teaching me not only how to play the game, but how to be a better person. You shaped my journey and helped me grow in ways I could have never imagined. I was nervous when I got to Salem as a freshman. Coach Shea made me feel welcome and always looked out for me. We were so much alike that we often butt heads, but at the end of the day, we both wanted the same thing,
to continue to be a successful program. In my 4 years at Salem, we only lost one MASCAC game and made it to the NCAA tournament all 4 years. I think it's safe to say we both accomplished our goals. Thanks, Coach. Thank you to Coach Infanto for your guidance and support. You always created a positive and encouraging team environment. And Coach Mayos. He was the toughest coach on me, but quickly became my favorite. He saw something in me even when I wasn't confident that I could play at the college level. I remember our first tournament my freshman year. I only got to play a few minutes in a blowout game, and my only memory was getting in the game last couple minutes and shooting an air ball. I felt embarrassed and out of place, but I continued to work and be pushed in practice, and a few weeks later, when a teammate was injured, Coach Mayos gave me a chance to prove myself. Thankfully, I made up for that air ball and had a great game, which boosted my confidence and allowed me to continue to excel throughout my career. I remember the first time Coach Mayos put my name up on the blackboard as a starter. Not number 10, not Kara, but Spaz. I never asked him why he called me that, but I always took it as a compliment. A Spaz to me is someone who is all over the court, working their hardest and making things happen. He pushed me to be better every day, and that has left a lasting impact on my life. It wasn't until recently, when I went through my old newspaper articles, that I found out that it was Coach Mayos who scouted me as a sophomore in high school and was the one who got me here to Salem. So thank you, Coach Mayos. I'm incredibly grateful to have played for all three of these coaches. Your commitment to the program and to Salem and your players is truly inspiring. And last but not least, I want to thank my teammates. You are the reason I'm standing up here tonight. When I came to Salem State as a freshman, I almost didn't last the first week. I was a homebody, and being so far from my family was more difficult than I imagined. I was debating transferring to a college closer to home when the team started playing pickup and hanging out together off the court. If it wasn't for them, I would have never stayed at Salem. Not only were they my teammates, but they were my best friends throughout college. The bonds we formed on and off the court are what made my college experience so memorable. Long bus rides, Thursday nights at Cloutman Street, MASCAC parties, working summer camps, the haunted houses for Coach Shea, and at the Danvers Sport Yacht Club are just some of the memories I often think about. We were inseparable. To this day, I still have friendships with many of them, and I'll never forget the times we shared. Honorable mention to the Cloutman Street girls, Tracy, Kara, Maggie, and Karen, who took care of me as a freshman and always made me feel welcome. To Mary Jo, who's somewhere here, the first teammate I met at Salem, and who quickly became my best friend, and whose friendship I cherish to this day. And to Edwina, my foul shooting partner and my favorite teammate. We always had each other's backs on the court, especially when we played Emmanuel. There are so many others, but I would be here all night if I kept going. Each teammate played a role in this journey, and I am proud to have shared it with them. This honor is a reflection of the hard work, commitment, and success of our entire team. Thank you again for this recognition. It means the world to me.
I think I feel short most nights, but whenever I have to go up after basketball, I feel even shorter. Here to present our next inductee, please help me welcome our current head coach, an alumni, and the 2025 MASCAC Coach of the Year for men's ice hockey. To induct Marcus Zelzer, please welcome Chris McGinnis.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Chris McGinnis, and I'm the head coach of the men's ice hockey team here at Salem State. However, back in 2016, I was an assistant coach, which is where I met our next inductee. Marcus Zelzer will go down in Salem State ice hockey history as one of the most dominant goalies to ever wear the Vikings jersey. Marcus played 3 seasons, culminating with the CCM D2, D3 men's ice hockey All-American honors in 2016. During that season, Marcus was named MASCAC Men's Ice Hockey Player of the Year with an 18-2 record, tying for second most wins in all of D3, and had a nation's longest winning streak at 17 games. He was also the regular season, he also finished the regular season first in MASCAC in both goals against, save percentage, and had 4 shutouts. He was a finalist for the 2016 Sid Watson Award, which is presented annually to the nation's best NCAA Division III men's ice hockey player, and the Joe Concannon Award, which recognizes the New England's best American-born hockey player in Division II or III. Marcus was the 2016 Salem State Athletics President's Cup Award recipient, which is given to the best male athlete of the year, and the 2017 John Galaris Scholar Athlete of the Year Award, which is given to the senior who achieved significant success both on and off the ice and in the classroom. He was also named the 2017 MASCAC Male Scholar Athlete of the Year, which is voted on by the 8 athletic directors from around the conference. Off the ice, Marcus graduated with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice with a 3.91 GPA. He's a member of the National Collegiate Athlete Honor Society, Chi Alpha Sigma, and a MASCAC All-Academic recipient each of his 3 years at Salem State. Currently, Marcus is a litigation attorney in Minneapolis, where he resides with his wife, their 2-year-old daughter, Amelia, and their newborn son, Madden, who was born this past Sunday. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating our next inductee, Marcus Zelzer.
Thank you for the kind words, Chris. I appreciate it. It's an honor and privilege to be standing up here tonight. As I reflect on my hockey career, I've had the opportunity to live all over the country, which includes as far north as Alaska, south as Texas, west as Washington, and east as Massachusetts. When I reflect on those places that I've lived, it's Massachusetts that I'm most proud of. And the reason being is I had to learn to live outside of my comfort zone. As a kid growing up in Wisconsin, if you traveled 20 minutes out of the city, you were in farmland. When I came to Salem and I traveled 20 minutes outside, I ended up in a major metropolitan of Boston. It was a little bit of a culture shock for me. I also had a lot of firsts, such as a Dunkin' Donuts on every street, learning what a nor'easter is, and learning how to pronounce these city names. I'm still a little bit confused on how it's Peabody and not Peabody, but I will trust the Northeasterners here in the room on how to pronounce that. When I reflect on my time at Salem State, I'm extremely grateful for what it helped me develop in my life, as I think it helped me turn into a well-developed person. Through Salem State, I was able to not only get a good education, but I was also able to learn a lot of life lessons here, and I'm incredibly grateful for those opportunities. It helped lay down the foundation for me, which I have carried with me into my next journey into law school. And to that, I want to thank Salem State. In addition, I want to thank my teammates. Without them, I would not be standing up here tonight. And as much as this is an individual award, I view it as a team award too, because without them, I would not be here. I think of moments such as Cam Moniz scoring the overtime goal in the MASCAC semifinals to put us in the championship, and countless others where my teammates have bailed me out or blocked a shot in front of me. In addition, I would like to thank Coach O'Neill. Coach O'Neill gave me the opportunity to come to Salem State, and out of all the coaches I played for, he was my favorite. Coach O'Neill always had an open door policy. He was there for us. He was the first one to pick us up when we were down, and the first one to push us when we needed it. And for that, I just want to say thank you, Coach. You've impacted more people than you'll ever know, and I want you to know that. I also want to thank my parents and my family. Growing up, they had to drive 2 hours one way to help me play hockey growing up, and the sacrifice that they made, I could not imagine making for my kids. I love them to death, and I don't know how you did it, but traveling 4 hours a night, getting back past midnight, and then waking up and going to work today is something special, and I look back on those times and I just want to say thank you. No matter how far I lived or how far I was away, you always found a way to come watch me play. Last, I want to thank my family, I mean my wife and kids, who is new now here with Madden. It's an extremely grateful time here in my life, although they weren't here when I was at Salem State and I didn't know them. I strive every day to be the best parent and husband that I can be for them, and I want them to know how much I love them. Thank you.
Chris, don't tell me you didn't feel short standing next to him over there either. It's not just me. One of the really amazing things throughout my career at Salem State is that I've been able to see and witness a lot of the student athletes that are now getting into the Hall of Fame, and Marcus was one of them. He was one of our SAC leaders, and he is the only Salem State student athlete to ever be chosen for the NCAA Postgraduate Scholarship, which is an amazing honor, and it goes to very, very few people each year. So Marcus, congratulations. It's great to have you back too. So we have reached our final inductees as part of this year's class. Before I introduce our final presenter, I just want to ask all of our Hall of Famers to stick around for a larger group photo before returning to our dessert and coffee reception in the lobby. Now, please help me welcome Salem State Hall of Famer, former longtime sports information director, one of the truest orange, blue, brown, white Vikings that I've ever known or had the opportunity to have as a mentor, Mr. Tom Roundy.
Thank you. Before I get going here, I think it's really important to look back on the history of the Salem State Hall of Fame. I was around at the formation back in 1986. It was a meeting at South Campus. John Galaris, the late John Galaris, the late Dr. James T. Amsler, the president of Salem State College at the time, and a few other members of what was the varsity club at that time. And Dr. Amsler, he was a visionary. He was a big-time visionary in college athletics. And the way he carried himself, you respected the man when you just met him. And he was adamant about putting Salem State on the national map. He had seen what had happened with the women's basketball in the 85-86 season, that unbelievable season, 29-1, winning it all at home in our own gymnasium over Bishop College from Dallas, Texas, by the score of 89-84. A magical game, a national championship, Salem State's only one ever. So at that time, absolutely, it was crazy. You know, it was crazy. I see Mary Brown here tonight, and you know, I got to travel with the team when they went down to Scranton in '84, and then '86 came, and James T. Amsler, he was responsible for that national championship being hosted by Salem State. He went to John Galaris and said, what do we have to do? And John came up with the numbers and said, we got to do this. And Dr. Amsler said, let's go for it. He was also the first college president to serve on the NCAA commission, President's Commission, along with, I believe it's Reverend Donald Monin at Boston College. So Dr. Amsler had a huge platform nationally at the conventions. And he just brought a real class to our athletic program at the time. And I'll tell you, from the early 80s to 2000, we were feared, not only in our conference, but outside of our conference. There was a huge bullseye on the back of every Salem State team. And I knew it because I was responsible for getting the word out there. And it was easy because we won so much. And I got a chance to coach here for a little while as an assistant coach for Kenny Perone. And I could tell when we won those big games outside of our conference that we were earning respect. So it goes back full circle to James T. Amsler. Great man. Just a a guy that you want to do really well for. And he established this Hall of Fame. He put the onus on me to come up with the information. I had a wealth of information just in our backyard. The sports information director at Boston University, Eddie Carpenter. The late sports information director at Northeastern University, Jack Renauld. Reed Oslin at Boston College. Dickie Lipe at Bentley. I tapped into all of them. Eddie Markey at Harvard. I called them all. I had met them through workshops. This was like my 4th year working at the college. And I tapped them and said, what do you have to do to start it? Oh, Tommy, we'll send you everything you need. And boy, they did. And I walked into a meeting about 2 weeks later with a big cardboard box. And I put it on the table. And I said, I think everything is here what we need. And that's how the Salem State Hall of Fame started. In that first year, I feel it's important to talk about this because I don't think it really is talked about a lot. The first year, 15 charter inductees into the Hall of Fame. We had it over at Jimmy Allenhurst, if you remember that, over on 114 in Danvers. 500 people showed up. The night ended at 1:45 in the morning. It was wonderful. All of a sudden, all these people that I had heard stories about doing some research had come to life again, had come back. And the smiles on the faces, the families. It's a night you will never, ever forget. Ever. It's the top. A Hall of Fame. I love Hall of Fames. I'm actually going on a trip this summer to see 4 of them. That's how much I love Hall of Fames. So that all being said, just wanted to give a little history lesson there. I think it's important to pass it on. So once again, my name is Tom Roundy, and I am truly honored to present the 1999-2000 men's basketball team for induction into the Salem State Athletic Hall of Fame. I served as the Salem State Sports Information Director from 1982 to 2009. The Salem State men's basketball program, whose early years date back to the 1930s, has enjoyed tremendous success for almost a century. Massachusetts State College Athletic Conference championships and NCAA postseason tournament appearances have been regularly achieved through the years by Salem State men's basketball teams. But one season stands alone at the top for its incredible 7-month journey. That team is the 1999-2000 squad, guided by head coach Brian Meehan and assistant coaches Titus Manderson and Jeff Scott. On the court, the Vikings were led by senior guard Tyshawn Jenkins, who was the first player in program history to earn national first-team All-American honors. A bunch of talented, scrappy players forged the program's first ever NCAA Final Four appearance, finishing 3rd in the nation en route to posting a 27-5 final record. The Vikings' Final Four odyssey began in late August of '99, when most of the team traveled to the country of Spain, not only to play games against some of the top Spanish club teams, but also learn about the culture of 2 of the most beautiful cities in the world, Barcelona, and Madrid. Coach Meehan, his staff, and the players enjoyed sightseeing trips each day during the team's once-in-a-lifetime 10-day stay. Undoubtedly, the team's number one basketball highlight of the trip was getting to play a game in the same venue as the famous Dream Team played in at the '92 Barcelona Olympic Games. The educational trip featured touring 500-year-old churches, the historic city of Toledo and its centuries-old prison, exploring the works of Master Antoni Gaudí, and attending an afternoon of bullfights in Madrid. Touring these and many other sites was an amazing experience for the traveling party who were fortunate enough to travel across the big pond. The 99-2000 regular season began play in November. The Vikings rushed out to a 19-1 record en route to a 21-4 regular season mark. Salem State would earn 6 wins and lose just once in the postseason, including 2-0 in the MASCAC playoffs and a 4-1 record in the NCAA tournament. The 4 NCAA playoff wins were of the dramatic variety. The Vikings roared back from a double-digit deficit to defeat Amherst in the second round after receiving a first-round bye, and then pulled out a pair of thrilling wins over Penn State Barron and Cortland State to capture the Northeast sectional title. The third-place victory over Franklin and Marshall in Salem, Virginia, the Final Four's host city, was another gutty win for the Vikings, who tied a school record for most wins in a single season with 27. In closing, the 1999-2000 men's basketball team's outstanding season-long performance has secured its rightful place among the best ever to represent Salem State athletics. Hall of Fames exist to honor and preserve the greatness of the very best. The Salem State Hall of Fame recognizes those individuals and teams who have achieved athletic greatness while representing the institution with the utmost sportsmanship, class, and dignity. The 1999-2000 wow, sticking together there. That wasn't in the plan. Basketball team achieved the program's highest finish ever, a feat no other Salem State men's basketball team accomplished prior or since. It is now my distinct honor and privilege to present the 1999-2000 men's basketball team for induction into the Salem State Athletic Hall of Fame. Please join me now in welcoming the architect of the greatest season in Salem State men's basketball history, head coach Brian Meehan, who was selected MASCAC Coach of the Year, and Northeast Region Coach of the Year for the magical 1999-2000 season. Congratulations, Coach.
I have 7 videos I'd like to show, breaking them down from game to game. I hope you all have time. We do have some video of Spain, and those are not being released. President Keenan, Nikki, it's always a pleasure to return home here to Salem State. Congratulations to Ian, Kelly, Kara, Marcus, Coach Campbell, on your induction this evening, all well-deserved. On behalf of our coaching staff, our student assistant, Tom Shamgosian, our student trainer, Nick Mello, and our players, we'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for selecting us for induction this evening. I'd also like to personally thank Mike Mitchell for all your hard work in putting together tonight's celebration. What a great job, Mike. Events such as these are wonderful opportunities to not only be recognized as an individual or as a team, but to also reflect on all the people who helped make this possible. I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to thank the legends of Salem State
who through their professional expertise and love for this community created an atmosphere of excellence. President Nancy Harrington, Vice President Stan Cahill, athletic trainer extraordinaire Bill Bullock, and the great John Galaris. We've lost them all, but their legacies live on at all of these celebrations. The 1999-2000 Salem State men's basketball team is the most successful team in the history of not only Salem State men's basketball, but also of the MASCAC. No other MASCAC men's basketball team has ever reached the Final Four or finished ranked as high as number 3 in the final rankings nationally, ever. Entering that 1999-2000 season, we had 5 returning players, 5 new players joining us, and John Bennett, who showed up every now and then on his own schedule. Jeff Scott and Titus Manderson did an unbelievable job recruiting these guys, not just for their talent, but they found the right guys who fit in. Except for a late season shooting slump, this team rolled along, improving and showing great ability to win in different ways. Regardless of which way they won, it was always exciting. The one game that encapsulates our season was a first-round game. We had a first-round bye in the NCAA tournament. Amherst College won their first-round game, and we got to host them for a Saturday evening at the O'Keefe. Amherst was a powerhouse from the NESCAC and not happy to have been sent on the road. They entered to a gymnasium and were welcomed by a sellout, standing-room-only crowd, some of whom may have done some pre-gaming on South Campus. The atmosphere was electric. President Harrington, Congressman John Tierney, Dr. Cahill, and all of the North Shore basketball community were there. Amherst came out and absolutely ruined it. They dominated every bit of that first half. We found ourselves down 23 points. And when we came back out after halftime, I was actually worried that the crowd had left. But they had all stayed. And I'm not sure what happened, but these guys over here came out and just took over, play by play, possession by possession. The O'Keefe was awoken. With about 3 minutes to play and victory in sight, Gus White flashed to the high post, caught the ball, went to his left and elevated over Amherst's best player and threw down one of the most thunderous dunks imaginable. The roof almost blew off the building. And with that, we were on our way to the Sweet 16 and beyond. As I wrap up my talk and pass it on to the captains, Tyshawn and Dorian, I want you guys to know how proud I am of the teachers and coaches, business owners, salesmen, construction workers, law enforcement officers, and school administrators you've become. However, I am most proud of the husbands, fathers, and men you are today. You're the best of the best and a great source of pride for Salem State University. I love you guys. Thanks for the memories.
First off, we'd like to have a quick moment of silence. We've only lost one player from our 99-2000 squad, Edwidge, so we'd like a quick moment of silence on behalf of Ed. Thank you very much.
All right, to kick off the night, how you guys doing? My name is Dorian Bryant. I am one of the co-captains here with my man Tyshawn of the 2000 Men's Final Four team. Can you believe it? We're here tonight to celebrate something truly special. Our Final Four team, the only team in Salem State history to make the Final Four. Looking at all you guys in the crowd, alumni, friends, family, faculty, brings back so many incredible memories. Feels like yesterday we were just on the court wearing orange, white, and blue, battling for Salem State. Our Final Four team achieved remarkable success and outstanding results, concluding with 27 wins and 5 losses, 3 MASCAC championships, 3rd place national ranking, and the only Salem State men's team to advance to the NCAA Final Four. True collection of talented, unique, tough-minded individuals from various backgrounds. And despite our differences, we developed a friendship and a brotherhood that's lasted 20 plus years. I am so honored to be on this stage to celebrate our accomplishments, our determination, grit, which have led us through some wild situations, excitement, and thrilling moments. I'm limited on time, but I'd like to thank my family, Holly and Bryce, for making time, other people who helped to organize this event, Athletic Director Nicole Wood, Salem State Alumni Selection Committee, and our teammate Pete Sklarz, who behind the scenes was the guy who was kind of getting the, putting us ahead and getting us to this point. So thank you, Pete. Also like to thank my friend who's not in attendance, Chris Harvey. Chris Harvey is the head coach here of the men's basketball team. He was the first guy to give me a shot coaching at the collegiate level here at Salem State. But I'd like to take you back, not just to a basketball season, but to an understanding of what occurs when a group of guys decide to be more than just teammates, but a brotherhood and a family. To my teammates, John Bennett, Eddie Bergone-Olney, Danny Bunker, Tyshawn, Jeremy, Eric McCoy, Steve O'Connell, Pete Sklarz, Danny White, Gus White, head coach Brian Mann, assistant coach Titus, other assistant coach Jeff Scott, who's not here, Tom Shangojan, our student assistant, and to Nick Mello, our athletic trainer. We produced an unforgettable season for ourselves, for the college, and the Salem community. Talking about brotherhood, one of our brothers, as Tyshawn said, couldn't be here in attendance. That's Eddie Bergone. Eddie passed away with his battle from cancer. He was my college roommate, a friend, a brother. We all miss and love Eddie. Eddie was an All-American, MASCAC Player of the Year, and was individually inducted to the Salem State Hall of Fame. This will be his 2nd time being inducted to the Salem State Hall of Fame. Although Eddie isn't physically here with us, he is here in spirit, enjoying our Final Four moment. Also in attendance, which is very important, are Eddie's wife and his son, Kinga and Jordan. To all the members of our Final Four family, players and coaches, please stand and acknowledge both Kinga and Jordan. Please stand up, please acknowledge them. Kinga and Jordan, our basketball family welcomes you with open arms and affection. Kinga and Jordan, your dad, your husband was a great man, and we dearly miss him. Another truly important person I would love to thank and highlight is our leader, our head coach, Brian Mann. Coach, I don't think many individuals could have coached a group of misfits like ours, but you found a way. Your determination, passion, attention to detail helped shape and build us to reach tremendous success. Your tough love shaped us as young adults into the responsible men you see today. Coach, I appreciate everything that you've done for us, all your hard work, your dedication, your life lessons that you taught us. We were held accountable no matter who we were or where we came from. Your approach to practice, game planning, dealing with outside interference, which was a lot at Salem State, mental preparation was phenomenal. Honestly, I wouldn't have had it any other way, which is why we all looked up to you and we all respect you to this day as our coach. You were able to guide a state school program with fewer resources to elite national status on a yearly basis and kept standards to incredible high levels. Despite what your critics say about you at your other school, you were an equal opportunist. You just yelled at everybody. Okay? But tonight, I give you the credit that you deserve. To my teammates and coaches, everyone still looks great. Thank you for making an effort for being here in attendance. Some awesome moments we had together as a group. I remember how hard we worked, how we got along, how we had each other's backs. Funny, I remember less about the games we wanted, more about the moments we joined together as teammates and friends. Just to quickly go down memory lane, I remember breakdancing pregame to get us ready. I remember having great parties at South Campus. Those were awesome. I remember always falling asleep in film sessions and coach screaming at me. I also remember John Bennett's tuna fish sub fiasco for the people on the team, and Eddie yelling in the back, "Me and it's alive, you created a monster." Great moments. I remember legendary Mazcac parties after winning the league. I remember some questionable moments and antics at the NCAA tournament. We'll be hush on that one. I remember our AD, Mr. G, coming in every single game to wish us luck, of course, while smoking a cigarette. Being in a non-smoking facility, gotta love that guy. I also remember beating Worcester State at Worcester State for the league championship, and coach telling us pregame, when we win, we are to take off our shirts, go to the middle of their logo, and have a huge party on their floor. All I'm gonna say, that athletic director from Worcester State was not happy with us. I remember Eddie's last second heroic shot to beat Springfield College. I remember how good we felt about ourselves beating Penn State Barron to reach the Final Four. And last, I remember our trip to Spain, which we had so much fun. I remember really pissing off the locals for cheering for the Bull to actually win the fight, because we all thought that the Bull wasn't getting a fair shot. I remember all of us going to Mira Magnum in Barcelona and shutting that place down every single night. I remember all of us having a team Guinness and enjoying each other's company. So many great memories that bond us together and that fostered a long-lasting relationship. Now wrapping this up, Dan Bunker and I still laugh about this to this day. We talk about practice. When I was in practice, coach was convinced, totally convinced that I would be missing layups on purpose when practicing. He said, "Dorian, I swear to God, you're just throwing the ball at the rim, missing it on purpose." Well, to end my segment, my All-American point guard, Tyshawn, just threw me a perfect pass in the post with nobody around me. And of course, in my style, I blow the layup. But to my credit, I get the rebound back. Okay, I try to shoot it again to get my own rebound back, and now everyone's surrounded around me. And I look to pass it out to my All-American point guard to finish off the play as he always did. Tyshawn, the ball is now in your hand to score, but my time has ended. Tyshawn is going to take us home.
I didn't write a speech, but I'm going to put my phone up here and put a 3-minute timer and try to get out as much information as I possibly can in 3 minutes. I'm not a speech person. My mantra right now is that I'm clay. So if I would have wrote something at 2 o'clock this afternoon, it probably wouldn't have meant the same as it would right now, being amongst my teammates, being back at Salem State, where I feel amazing. The college made me feel amazing. The people who supported me made me feel amazing. My teammates made me feel amazing. In the sheet, it says that the team was led by Tyshawn Jenkins, but never did I ever feel like a leader. I was more of an active participant, playing my role. I just happened to have a big role. Everybody else had their roles as well. First, like to thank Coach Meehan. I don't think he gets enough credit for what he put together. I just asked him on the phone last week. I said, "Coach, did you put the trip to Spain together?" And he said, "Yeah." I was like, "Wow." I'm pretty sure we went over budget. I don't think we spent as much money, had as much money as we spent on the trip. But I think that it was a great moment for us to come together, like a night like tonight. I do want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for inducting me twice. This is my second time around. I thought it would be easier to come up here and speak, so I didn't write anything down. But it feels like I should mainly focus on the camaraderie amongst our team. That led us to a historical moment. I feel like I can say some big things about us, but a lot of that has already been said. This was a team that you wanted to play for. It was a team that you wanted to participate with. It was a team that you wanted to work for. I think at this junction, at the end of the evening, it really comes down to wanting to say thank you. Everybody played their role for us. Stevie O'Connell came to practice every day. Stevie knew he wasn't going to play that much, right, Stevie? He didn't care. He just came in to do his job. He's the same guy right now as 20 years ago, just calm, cool, collected. But he was a very important person for us as far as pushing us around and getting us to get ready for games. Eric McCoy, I kind of took Eric under my wing he was a little bit heavier, and I had to get him in shape for one summer. He wasn't really happy about that. But he understood what it was to be a Viking and come and work hard for Salem State University. So he got and did the work. Peter Sklar's father, Bob Sklar's, God rest his soul, was actually my English language arts teacher at Worcester Tech in high school. And every game, Pete's dad slipped me a $20. I mean, in this day and age, I guess I can say it, we weren't breaking any rules, but he used to give me a $20 handshake every single game and tell me to go buy a sandwich or something like that. I was very close with Mr. Sklar's. It was tough to see him pass, but he left me Peter. I met his sister tonight. Very close with Pete. I thank you so much for suggesting us, Peter. I'm pretty sure that's my 3 minutes, people. I set a legit timer. So I'll wrap up here. Danny Bunker's a great coach right now, currently in the Boston school system. He was our 3-point sniper. He didn't say a word. I don't even think I talked to Danny tonight at all. Still, again, but we had a great understanding. Right? It was like, give me the ball. I'm gonna make shots. You do what you do. He was a great teammate. Worked really, really hard. I think coach counted Danny out. I was kind of like that. He kind of fought back versus me and earned his time, right? And then we had the bad boy, John Bennett, that you all heard about. I voted for John to come back. I just thought he was super important for us. Every team's got to have a bad guy. You know, he played that role of the villain. You know, people were mad that he missed practice or that he went to Miami for a week and that's what he did. I wasn't that upset. I was really focused on winning basketball games, and he was going to help us win. So I said, John, come on back. Right? We legitimately had a vote, and Eddie said, you created a monster with John. He did. John is actually probably our greatest success story now, though, from the bad boy vibe that he gave out 25 years ago. He's a devoted husband, great father. I mean, it's really weird that we kind of did a role reversal where I kind of look at him now as a guy that I would like to achieve to be. No, seriously, Jay, he's come a really long way. Really proud of you, JD. All of my teammates know that. The guy was out of control. Jeremy Jones. Jeremy Jones literally, when we came back from winning tough games, it wasn't because of me, it was because of Jeremy, right? Like Jeremy Jones convinced me that we could and that we would. And then I just kind of had to go out there and like believe him. And we won basketball games, 23 points down, coach would finish. You know, I'm the senior on this team. And, you know, he was the guy that made us believe that no matter the circumstances, we could come back and win basketball games. So hats off to Jeremy. I think that I'm an All-American because of these guys. They made it very easy. All I had to do was work. Titus Manderson, I always want to talk about. He was my favorite teammate. Titus represents for me my freshman and sophomore year, where I didn't play with any of these guys except for Dorian. We had a whole nother cast. I thought they were actually a much better basketball team in my freshman and sophomore year than we were in my senior year. But I think they kind of paved the way for that Salem State integrity, that Salem State work. They kind of made me understand what I was a part of and what we were a part of. I appreciate Tom Roundy really letting us know. I enjoy the consistency in the room, right? Because in order to be here, every person that was inducted tonight had to put on a level of consistency. They had to do things they didn't want to do. They had to be very disciplined. It feels really special to be in this room, sharing this moment with everyone, not just my teammates, but the other inductees as well. I love Salem State. I told the president today, I probably had 13 kids from Worcester, Massachusetts, come to Salem after I graduated here in 2000 because we lost Carl to an unfortunate situation here in Salem. But I would still tell any kid that if you want to go be a part of something great, you want to feel good about yourself, you should go be a Viking. That's all I got to say for this evening.
Yeah, let's have them all up here. Come on up, guys.
Don't trip.
Congratulations. Nice to see you, brother. Really enjoyed watching you play. Welcome. Hey. Everyone have their award? I got your award. Let me get some more people. Did you get them all in?
Can you hold on? Wait. Can you hold on 1 second? Can Eddie's wife and son come up, please? Eddie's wife and son, come on up. Let's get them part of the picture.
Tommy, you're the nominator. Get on the end.
Gotta smile now. All right, everybody. 3, 2. Oh. Sorry. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's do one more. One more. All right, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good job,
That was
Tom.
nice. Very, very, very nice.
Thank you.
Good job.